Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn more pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn more pay. Hard work, work. Boots on and lace.
Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I messed that whole thing up, didn't I? Oh well, I'll fix it in the editing process. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. You know what? I'm gonna talk stream here. You're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Welcome to Talk About It Tuesday. Breaking news. According to ESPN, Adam Schefter, the New York Jets are finalizing a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders to trade Dontae Adams to the Jets for a conditional third-round pick that could become a second-round pick. And that's according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Sarge over here whispering. No, I ain't whispering. Had a little. I'll tell y'all about that later. We're going to talk about that later. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because y'all know we do everything for the gram. Do it 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 for the gram. Let me get myself together right here. All right, once again, the Jets are, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Jets are finalizing a deal to make a trade to reunite Aaron Rodgers and Dontae Adams. And like I said, later on in the show, I'm going to talk about the Jets because they are a mess. They are a mess. And getting Dontae Adams don't mean nothing. Over here acting shy. That's hilarious. Hey, good morning to all of you. Hey, look now. Y'all know before I even get this show started, I got a question. Hey, is it unloyal to be friends with one of your friends' ex, even if they don't talk to each other? Like, can you still be cool with one of your friends' ex, even though they don't get along, even though they don't talk, even though they may have had a bad breakup? Now, and I'm not talking if they broke up over something that was criminal, and you know what I mean by criminal. I mean, he or she got caught with drugs, or DV was involved, or some other things were involved anything that could cause you to go to jail, like do some real time. Not being accused of something. I'm talking about really doing something and going to being convicted and going to jail and doing some time. If that happens, no, you can't be friends. They just broke up because one cheated on the other cheated on the other. They just ain't friends. How come you can't be friends with one of your friends' ex? I'm not talking about trying to sleep with them. I'm not trying. No. No, that's what I just said. D Skills in H-Town. No, I'm not talking about that. Bishop Bullwinkle. Hell no to the no. Hey, hold on, y'all. I got Alexis always tell me good morning, man. She always be one of the first ones in here, so I gotta say good morning. Here we go. Texas Underground, good morning. Marcus, good morning. Hold on, I got pretty much everybody in here, right? AD, Jerome, Edmund, good morning. All right, so now we got that thing go. How come? Why can't you? Like, if they just if they don't get along and we were cool, like what if we were cool? Like they don't get along, they broke up, but we still cool. Cause when they were together, we all used to hang out and we was cool like that. And then they broke up. So now because they broke up, I gotta lose a friend too. Like I gotta lose a friend. And if it's my friend's fault for the breakup, so now I gotta go with the friend that did this friend wrong. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, it depends on how long you've been knowing them and blah, 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 blah. Of course, that is true. Sometimes that longevity does, play a part. But on the flip side of that, I mean, ain't you always looking for new friends? I know I can't be the only one. That's like, yo, I like new friends. Back to Back, I like that record. I'm gonna get back to that for the record. I just don't understand. Like, how come I gotta lose a friend because y'all two can't be together no more? It doesn't make sense to me. No, hey, look, no new friends, and that's why Drake is in the position that he's in now, in the club, making doing diatribes or graduation speeches, and then playing "Me, Myself, and I" by Beyonce. Oh, the ladies, you feel hear me out. What? Hey, Drake's song is "No New Friends," right? Really? What if you want to just have that new friend because that old friend is grimy? Like, I put it like this. Sometimes, listen, you don't keep everything forever, right? Sometimes some things need to be replaced, right? Hold on. I still stay friendly because most likely they're going to get back together anyway. That's one of the realest quotes today. That's one of the realest takes today. Yes. But even if they don't, I still want to be cool. See, some of y'all are thinking like, because I'm talking about what if I got what if one of my female friends, one of my really good female friends, breaks up with a dude, and I'm like, yo, this dude is cool. Like I really like when we all hung out, like we all just hung out and it was cool. But now that y'all ain't together no more, now I gotta be like, hey, but he my partner. We in fantasy football together. We, you know what I'm saying? We used to go to the sports bar and watch football together. Now I can't do all that because y'all not together. That doesn't even make any sense to me. So when does the petty come into the conversation? What you mean the petty? No petty. What? What? Boy, I swear every day y'all try to get me canceled or divorced. One of the other. One or the other every day. Once again, you tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Just talk about it Tuesday on today's show. A lot of NFL coaches seats should be burning. A lot of NFL coaches, they seats should be hot. I'm going to give you Big Sarge's chain of command rankings. The Texas defensive line depth is going to help with the Mario Edwards Jr. suspension that was announced on Monday. Today, Tuesday, right? It is Tuesday. Talk about it Tuesday. Get in together, Sarge. The Rockets are in action tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans in the preseason, their third preseason game. And hear me out. Dear Rick Brunson, White Dontae is who you don't want problems with. We're going to get to that. That's going to be at the end of the show. But Rick Brunson, hey, White Dontae, that ain't the smoke you want. Like, you could probably try to, you know what I'm saying, try to bully some other Anglo-Americans, that Anglo-American, he Anglo-American, but he really just light-skinned. He just light-skinned. He really look like he blend right in New Orleans. Like you could say, oh, that's suckers to some people. You can't say that to white Dontae. His name is spelled Dontae. You ever heard him talk? Oh, we're definitely gonna get into that, but let's jump right into this show. It's getting hot in here, so hot, so take off all your I am getting too hot. I want to take my hey. There's a lot of NFL coaches right now. They seats is hot. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. I'm talking about hot. And I got 5 of them that should have been fired last Tuesday. Oh, you know what? Someone should have been fired last Monday. They keep waiting on black men now. Some of them should have been fired. Not this past Monday, the Monday prior. That's how bad these coaches are. I'm gonna give you 5 coaches that are on the hot seat that shouldn't have a seat. Like their badges shouldn't work anymore. Like their badges shouldn't work. They should pick up their last check via Cash App or Venmo, PayPal, something, Amazon gift card. Like there's some coaches that should be gone right now. And I'm going to give you 5 of them. Number 1, Doug Peterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You squandered last season after going 6-2, had a 5-game winning streak. You went 3-6 to end the season and lost the final game to the Titans to miss the playoffs. What happened, Doug? You were a Super Bowl winning head coach. And what has happened? You've totally turned that Jacksonville Jaguars franchise into, well, hold on now. Hold on. Now, before we even get into this, because I was about to say, you turn that Jacksonville Jaguar franchise into garbage. Maybe you are the company you keep, because the Jacksonville Jaguars ain't been good in a very long time. So I don't know what. Let's just say you didn't help elevate them. You haven't done what you were hired to do. You were brought in after the Philadelphia Eagles let you go after winning a Super Bowl. You were brought in to help revitalize and to clean up some of the mess, a lot of the mess that former head coach Urban Meyer had done. And so instead of doing that, instead of helping uplift that Jacksonville Jaguars franchise, nah, buddy, you haven't. 6-2 to start off the season, 5-game winning streak. Y'all one of the hottest teams in the NFL last season. Then you just totally wet the bed, and that's putting it nicely. Next thing you know, y'all are after going 6-2. Hold on, you went 3-6. You lost the last game of the season to the Tennessee Titans, a team that lost to Case Keenum and Davis Mills. The Tennessee Titans lost to the Houston Texans and they ain't even have C.J. Stroud. And that's the team you lost to. All you had to do was win that game. You'd have been the AFC South champions, and you would have went into the playoffs. And you couldn't even do that. Now, a lot of it has to do with that AI quarterback y'all got. Side note, listen. Have you ever seen Trevor Lawrence in person? He does not look real. I'm sorry. Let me fix my camera here a little bit. Have you ever seen Trevor Lawrence in person? Like, he really does not look like a real human being. Like, hey, look, Elon Musk is coming out with these robots, right? I think he may have snuck one in already, because Trevor Lawrence does not look real. When I see him, I don't even look him in the, I don't I don't make eye contact, because I'm like, no, sir. Something ain't right about this one. Something is not right. And I've seen him on numerous occasions. I'm just like, something ain't right about this one. I'm the only one that think that Trevor Lawrence looks like a robot. He's AI way before AI. He was a test. Hey, I mean, think about it. Look how good he was in college. So maybe they programmed him to be that good. And then now, as he's gotten to become an older model in the NFL, he just looks like, I digress. Doug Peterson, you should be gone. Y'all 1-5 this year with no signs of getting better. Your next 5 games, you play the Patriots, the Packers, the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Lions. You'll be lucky to beat the Patriots. The way that I see your team, the way that I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, I don't see them beating the Patriots. I can't see them beating the Packers. I can't see them beating the Eagles. I can't see them beating the Vikings, and I can't see them beating the Detroit Lions. So we're going to look up, and you're going to be 1-10. And at what point are they going to let you go? Like, they should let you go now and start over. Like, hey, look, Doug, we appreciate it. It's time to go. It is time to go. Second coach that's on the hot seat that should have been fired a long time ago, Antonio Pierce with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I just told you that it was breaking news reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter that the Las Vegas Raiders are trading their best offensive player is being traded to the New York Jets. Their best offensive player. And we're going to look around here, and pretty soon, before the trade deadline is up, we're going to look around, and Max Crosby, their star-studded defensive end, their star-studded edge rusher could be gone as well. And now what is the Las Vegas Raiders left with? Look, you know what they say? Hey, you could take the Raiders out of Oakland, but you can't take the Oakland out of the Raiders. And that's no shot at the citizens in the Bay. That is no shot at the citizens in Oakland and Antioch and all up and down over there. That's no shot at them. But this Oakland Raiders franchise who said that, the city didn't want to support us. The city didn't want to support us. They didn't want to get us a new stadium. So we're moving to Las Vegas. And you move to Las Vegas, and what changed? You're still the same franchise, same terrible franchise that you have been. This ain't Al Davis's. This ain't Al Davis's Raiders. This is his sons and Mark Davis, if I'm not mistaken. And what are we doing here? The Raiders are terrible. Terrible. They started Gardner Minshew. Started him as their quarterback. Like, went into the season saying Gardner Minshew is our guy. Who's there now? AD. Is it Aiden O'Connell? Like, Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback for them now, right? So you purposely went into the seasons with 2 terrible quarterbacks. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Antonio Pierce, you got to go, bro. I don't care all this rah-rah, hoo-ha stuff you do, all this. I'm tough. I'm this, I'm that. I'm going to be looking at everybody like they're independent contractors. Hey, that's cool. Your time has come and gone. You were a great NFL player. You are not a great NFL coach. Hey, give him time, Sarge. No. Some things you just don't need to give time. Some things you already know ain't good. Some things listen, let me tell you something. I tasted cheesecake one time, never wanted it again. Cheesecake is terrible. Cheesecake is horrible. I do not like cheesecake. Cheesecake is terrible. I don't need to keep eating cheesecake to say, well, maybe my palate will change and maybe I'll get used to liking it. No, it's nasty. It's nasty. I know it's nasty. Tasted it one time, I'm good. I never need to eat cheesecake again. And don't come at me talking about you ain't had the right kind of cheesecake, Sarge. You got to have the Oreo cookie kind. You got to have the German chocolate kind. You got to have the strawberry kind. You got to have it from this place, that place, blah, blah. No, it's horrible. I don't need to eat it again to know that it's horrible. I don't need to eat it again to know that it's terrible. You don't need to see anything else from Antonio Pierce to know that he should not be a head coach in the NFL right now. Now, go back to doing what you was doing when you like a linebackers coach or something, or like a quality control. Like, going back to doing that, like, bro, work your way back up, because that's horrible. That's horrible. Cottage cheese, what are you talking about, AD? You the one that went to Texas A&M, not me. Like, I went to Prairie View A&M. I graduated from Prairie View A&M, and I didn't move none of my loyalty to the other A&M. You're the one that graduated from Texas A&M, my guy. You're the one that's, you're half a like you look, AD. Hey, look, I'm talking to you, AD. Let me put that up there real quick because like I said, this a Sports Talk with Big Sarge is an interactive show. We go back and forth. I'm gonna always read your comments. I'm gonna always talk to you, and I'll side note to jump right back. Hey, AD, you know what I call you, bro? You mixed, like you mixed, and I don't mean like you half black and half some other ethnicity. I'm not saying like you half black and half Hispanic, half black, half white, half black, half Asian. None of that. You have HBCU, have PWI. So sometimes I don't even know which one I'm talking to. I digress. I don't eat cottage cheese at all. Cottage cheese and cheesecake is the same. Antonio Pierce. The Las Vegas Raiders, they went 3-2 at the end of the 2023 season. They finished 8-9. Woo! Look at us. We're going to be good next year. Then you started Gardner Minshew and had Aiden O'Connell as his backup. Y'all 2-4 this season. And although you beat the Ravens, y'all are terrible. Horrible. You're one of the worst teams in the NFL. And Antonio Pierce, they should cut their losses right now. I don't know who's going to take that job because whoever's going to take that job, you just lost one of your best offensive weapons. You lost him. You lost Josh Jacobs, and you're losing him. They're not going to be good at all. All right, moving right along. Now, this is where it gets interesting because I love New York. Let me tell y'all something right now. I love New York. New York is an amazing place to go visit. I don't know if I could live there or not because I can't afford it. It's very expensive to live in New York, but I love New York because I like getting around, I like walking. I like being out the season, seeing everything. I ain't too fond of the rats though because they look like possums, they look like cats, they look like deer. I'm like, sometimes I, walking on the sidewalk, I see rats and I'd be like, no, sir, you got it. I'm going to walk on the other side. I'm not even going here. Y'all got it. I don't even know what y'all doing over there. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm just going to cross the street. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go back and start over. I do love New York, but these next two, as far as talking about the NFL, hey, the New York when it comes to professional football is a rotten apple. I know they like to call it the Big Apple. No, it's the rotten apple. Jeff Ulbrich for the New York Jets. I know that you're interim head coach because they fired Robert Saleh after week 5. I get that part. You're interim. I got it. Resign, my guy. Resign, my guy. Just leave. Just tell him, nah, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to sell insurance. I'm going to go be a Amway. Is that right? Amway pyramid scheme guy. You know what? I want to do some Forex trading. Well, I'm already here in New York. I got a couple of friends that could hook me up with some Bitcoin. Now I'm good. No, I'd rather work for Mayor Eric Adams than to continue working for Woody Johnson. No, I'm good. I'm just going to resign. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. Then I'm going to go find me something else to do. I may run for mayor. There's about to be an opening there pretty soon. I may run for governor. I may get into politics, but I damn sure don't want to coach the New York Jets anymore. And the reason why is because Aaron Rodgers will never allow any coach to coach the New York Jets as long as he's a part of that franchise. As long as Aaron Rodgers is taking snaps, matter of fact, he doesn't even have to be taking snaps. As long as he's in the building, no head coach will ever have the control that they need to run that team. Aaron Rodgers has run the New York Jets into the ground the same way he did the Green Bay Packers. And on that game on Monday, after the game, you come to the press conference and you try to say that the receiver ran the wrong route. No, you ended that game the same way you ended that game in London against the Vikings by underthrowing a pass and throwing an interception. Take the blame. Take accountability, Aaron Rodgers. Do something that you haven't done in a very, very, very long time. Take accountability for your mistakes. And if you go back and you look, you underthrew the wide receiver. You had a running back in the flats that could have got you the first down and extended the drive. You also had Garrett Wilson. Force feed him the ball. Don't throw it to Mike Williams. Throw it to right here. Either throw it to Garrett Wilson or throw it into the flats to Breece Hall and let him get as many yards as he can. And then you'll have another down. If he doesn't get the first down, he's going to pick up at least 12 yards. There was nobody really close to him. So he's going to pick up 12 and 13 yards. You still have a fourth down play. You ended the drive by throwing that interception. And then you come to the press conference with that smug look on your face like you took some ayahuasca or you just took some you was chiefing before you came with Sauce Gardner, and you started blaming everybody else but Aaron Rodgers. You blame the receiver for running the wrong route. You blame the refs for the penalties. It's your fault, my guy. You're the reason. Well, if we would have played, I kind of feel bad because, if the offense would have played better, Robert Saleh, he would still be here. No, he wouldn't. You wanted him gone. You wanted him gone. And, hey, don't get me wrong. Hey, if Woody Johnson allows you to do that, if Woody Johnson allows you to run it, then run it. I guess so, my guy. You got it. You got it. It's on you, bro. You got it. It's on you. You got it. Jeff Ulbrich, you need to resign. Leave the New York Jets because Aaron Rodgers is not going to allow you to be in control. He's going to always find a way to manipulate the situation to make him, one, look like the good guy and you look like the bad guy. Oh, while also being the victim and the aggressor. Aaron Rodgers doesn't know how to pick a struggle between being the aggressor and the victim. He doesn't know how to pick a struggle when that he wants to be both. That's it. He wants to be both and he wants to be in control. So, hey, look, Jeff Ulbrich, hey, just go ahead and leave, bro. Resign. Like I said, go sell Bitcoin or something. Go sell energy or something. Do something. Get you a job on the stock market because you're not finna you're nothing but a name. Look, the NFL requires a team to have a head coach, and I mean your name is just there. Really, Aaron Rodgers wants to be a player coach. Moving on to the other part of the rotten apple as far as the NFL is concerned. I'm not talking about New York as a city. I'm talking about New York as pertaining to the NFL and their football teams. It's a rotten apple. Both of those teams stink. The Jets stink, and Brian Dable, head coach of the New York Giants, you should be gone, my guy. Bye. Leave. I'm out of here. Can't do it. No, can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. If I no, the Giants, y'all should get rid of this guy because he is horrible. Means you no good. Hey, I know that he came in with all this rah-rah stuff and he was going to change the offense and do all this, that, and other. And then y'all re-signed Daniel Jones, and then what? And he was part of that. He was out here championing, campaigning, and cheerleading for you all to bring back Daniel Jones, a quarterback that I would take. Previously mentioned Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell before I take Daniel Jones. Here, listen, who the quarterback for Nimitz right now? I'll take him. Who's the quarterback for Atascocita? These are high schools in the city, in the around Houston. Who's the quarterback for that? Who quarterbacks Conroe? I'll take them. Hey, can DJ Lagway, is there any way the quarterback at the University of Florida who was the top player, top high school player last year, coming out of Willis? Hey, is he eligible? Because I'll take him before I take Daniel Jones. But you decide to keep him. You decide to campaign for him, and now you have him. Brian Dable, the New York Giants, they went 2-3 after the bye week in 2023. They're 2-4 this season, and their offense looked putrid. I don't care if Malik Neighbors is on the field or not. That offense looks horrible. That team is terrible. Terrible. I think that the New York Jets and the New York Giants, are competing on who can be the worst. Who's the worst? Who's horrible? I don't even know if either of those teams could be Rutgers right now. UConn, Maryland. Like, who they gonna beat? I don't even know if they could beat Utica Junior College. Both of those teams are horrible. Hold on, AD. Side note. Hey, bro. Hey, get out of my head and stop stealing my notes. I've been saying that. However much money Florida threw at him for an NIL deal for DJ Lagway. Hey, y'all got enough money here in the state of Texas. Go get him. Bring him home. Bring him home. Hey, A&M get Lagway, it's over. It's done. Yep, I know. That's what I just said. I know. I just had a conversation yesterday with somebody that said there's no possible way that DJ Lagway could have turned down that NIL deal that he got at Florida. No possible way. But hey, look, y'all do something, AD. Sell them rings y'all got or something. Them little class rings they be giving y'all. Or, you know what I'm saying? Make some of them them cadets. Make some of the all boy band get out there and do some car washes or something, or sell some candy or something, or do something. I call them the all boy band, and I could do that because, hey, I'm a proud veteran of the United States Army. They're cadets. They're ROTC until they get some dirt on their boots, some real dirt on their boots, until they've walked in a war zone. I say whatever I want to say. Proudly. I got a patch on my right arm when I had my uniform on that said I deployed. I was in Afghanistan. I know what it's like. So yeah. Y'all get that all boy band out there to what y'all call them? Yell leaders. So right now we have Doug Peterson for the Jacksonville Jaguars needs to be fired. Antonio Pierce for the Las Vegas Raiders needs to be fired. Jeff Ulbrich from the New York Jets needs to resign. He's just an interim. They can't fire him. He should just leave. Brian Dable for the New York Giants should be fired. And here we go. Setting myself up for this one. I saved this one. Last but not least, this is the one that I've been waiting on. This is the one that I have been waiting on. Mike McCarthy, get your ass up out of Dallas. And what I mean by get your ass up out of Dallas, I mean leave, my guy. Go. Even if Jerry doesn't fire you by the end of the week, leave. You are by far one of the worst head coaches I have ever seen in my entire life. Yes, whatever you did at Green Bay, that's cool. I don't give a damn about the regular season as a Dallas Cowboys fan. I should have prefaced my statement by saying this. This ain't got nothing to do with being in the media. This one right here is personal. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, this one right here is personal. So, hey, if you want to leave, hey, look, thank you for tuning in to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I wish you could have stayed for the rest of the show. It's only going to get better. I would love to have you drop in the comments. I'd love for you to interact with me. But if you got to go because I'm about to go scorch earth as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I understand. Peace to you. Peace. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you have a wonderful day. Mike McCarthy. I don't give a damn how many regular season games you win. Cowboy fans are not pleased with just going to the playoffs. We've been to the promised land. Yeah, we've been to the promised land before, and it's been a minute since we've been there. And to have you sit there and keep saying, "Well, we're going to go and we're going to go and get better," you know, I mean, you know, they got just a couple of things to clean up, and we're going to be better. No. I was there, Mike McCarthy, as I watched last season when you all had this great regular season record, and then you got dog walked by the Green Bay Packers. Got molly-whopped. Some of y'all are too young to know what that means. That means they got their asses kicked. Hand over heart. I'm trying to stop using profanity. God is still working for me. They got mollywopped. The Packers didn't even steal off. The Packers didn't even sneak a punch. They walked right up to him and told him, I am about to hit you in your face. You can either put your hands up, keep your hands down. It does not matter. I'm going to punch you. That's exactly what the Green Bay Packers did last year in the playoffs. Punched the Dallas Cowboys right in the mouth. And you, Mike McCarthy, sitting over there with the play sheet, mouth breathing, probably hungry, didn't do nothing about it. And Jerry brought you back, which is another issue and another problem. Jerry can't fire himself as the GM, and he can fire himself as the GM. Jerry won't fire himself as the GM. So you got to go, my guy. Jerry ain't doing nothing that's going to make Jerry look bad. He was just on the radio. Going at the radio hosts because they were asking him fair questions about the team. And he said, I can get somebody else to ask you the question. So what's wrong, Jerry? You running from your responsibility? What's wrong, Jerry Jones, Aaron Rodgers? You don't want to take accountability? You're the one that brought back Mike McCarthy. You're the one that signed Dak Prescott to that huge contract. And you should be the one, Jerry Jones, as the owner and the GM, to put Mike McCarthy on one of them party buses, give him the buffet of his life, and tell him, get out, go, goodbye. I don't want to deal with you no more. You're out. And you're right, Kevin Livingston. Hold on. Let me put this up because I'm adding him too. Mike Zimmerman looking stupid. You're right, Kevin. Hey, put Mike Zimmerman on that bus as well. How do you allow Mike McCarthy to go out and get Mike Zimmerman and make him the defensive coordinator when his defenses sucked the last time he was a coach? His defenses were horrible. And you allowed that, Jerry. You allowed that, Mike McCarthy. So, look, you got to go. You got to go. And especially after this past week when they were playing against the Detroit Lions, they purposely tried to throw the ball to any offensive lineman that they could to become eligible. At one point, they went to I'm lying right now, y'all. This is just, I'm look, as they say, I'm potting right now. So give me a second. I think at one point they went to the NFL referees and said, hey, is there any way we can get the trainer to become an eligible wide receiver? And what about the people what about the people who do the water? What about the people who take care of the footballs? Hey, look, so the GM has always wanted to be in one of these NFL games. Is there any way I could do that? Hell, I think Dan Campbell, former tight end for the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dan Campbell's like, hey, so look, I know I'm the coach, right? I know I'm the coach. And what's it going to take for me to be eligible? Because I want to go in there. Like everybody catching passes, everybody catch touchdown passes. We're scoring at will on these guys. Like I want to see what it feels like to be back in the end zone too. Hey, can I make myself eligible? What about one of my assistant coaches? Hey, Aaron Glenn, come over here. Y'all know Aaron Glenn, right? H-Town, Nimitz. Yeah, he's the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Aaron, come here. Hey, you want to catch a touchdown pass too? Because, I mean, we got to play for you. Like, I got plays for anybody. I got to play for anybody that they'll allow to be eligible. It was embarrassing. And it happened on your birthday, Jerry. That's the best damn present you could have ever got. You know what? Give me my birthday ain't until January, Jerry. But give me an early birthday gift and get rid of Mike McCarthy. Fire him. You ain't gonna get rid of Dak, so you might as well get rid of Mike McCarthy. Let it start at the top. Mike McCarthy with all that line when he first got hired, talking about how he watched every Cowboys game and you know how he went through and did the analytics and how he used to, you know, get former coaches together like he was still a head coach and they would go over film at his house. And then in the press conference, first thing he said was, what? I lied. And you still let him stay. There's some other coaches that I could have put on this list, but I had to end with Mike McCarthy because the Cowboys got a bye week this week. They don't even play nobody, and they still gonna lose. Once again, you tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Just talk about it Tuesday, and I just got through talking about it. Mike McCarthy, hell, he's still an NFL coach. How is he still an NFL coach? Just go ahead and fire him, Jerry, and let him go. Let him do whatever it is he wants to do. Just let him go. Bye. Leave. Good day. Gone. His seat been hot for 2 years. And you still run him out there. That's what I'm saying, Dak. Hey, Dak, I'm not really calling the play right now. I'm just letting you know that Dennis got a special on Moons over Miami. You don't like Dennis? Well, I will go to the Waffle House, but I'm gonna need somebody to go with me because I'm not really good at throwing them hands. And you know, at the Waffle House, you got to throw them hands. You'll get like grits and bacon and pancakes, and then you'll get a 2-piece. And they're not talking about chicken. I'm talking about that left and that right. If I make somebody mad, and I mean, I'm probably gonna have to go with like Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence or somebody that I know could fight. Because I mean, I seen you get beat up already, Dak, and I know you don't have those hands. Moving right along. Let's go. Attention to orders. It's time for the Big Sarge's Chain of Command rankings. All right. And you know how we do this, right? So Command Sergeant Major is the highest in the in the United States Army. The Command Sergeant, well, hold on. Sergeant Major of the Army is the highest, but I'm just talking about when we're looking at like when it comes to these bases and things like that. Like when you're talking about Fort Sam Houston, Fort Leonard Wood, and things like that. Fort Bliss. The Command Sergeant Major, as far as the non-commissioned officers are concerned. And so when I'm doing these rankings, it's 5. I'm going for Command Sergeant Major, First Sergeant. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm ranking them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Command Sergeant Major is 1. First Sergeant is 2. Sergeant First Class is 3. Staff Sergeant is 4. Sergeant is 5. And then I'll throw in a corporal who is a non-commissioned officer who just hasn't been doesn't have either enough points to go, hasn't had enough points to make it to the sergeant rank. And so the corporal is considered like a in between a junior soldier and a non-commissioned officer. And so he's a corporal. He has not as much power as an E5. He's like an E5, a super E4. Just put it like that. So once again, Command Sergeant Major 1, Sergeant First Class 2, Staff Sergeant 3. No, Command Sergeant Major 1, First Sergeant 2, Sergeant First Class 3, Staff Sergeant 4, Sergeant 5, and then it's a corporal. All right, let's jump right into these things. All right, Command Sergeant Major. The Vikings, they get to stay number 1 because they had a bye week at 5-0, but they got a tough test this week going up against the Lions. They play the Detroit Lions, and that's going to be a good game. I don't know how the Lions pass rush is going to be without Aiden Hutchinson. That's going to be interesting to see on how much pressure they can get on Sam Darnold with not having their best pass rusher in the game, the leading NFL sack leader, if I'm not mistaken. And so, but the Vikings are coming off a bye week. They're undefeated, and they have a really tough test against the Lions. So they Command Sergeant Major, First Sergeant, number 2, Chiefs, 5-0. They had a bye week, and they have the 49ers up next. And like I told you all on last week, I'm not really sold on the Chiefs just yet. And I have them up there because they're still undefeated. They shouldn't really have any problems with the 49ers. But then again, I mean, the 49ers defense, 49ers have, well, let me take that back. Because the 49ers have suffered a lot of, they've suffered a lot of injuries. They still have a really good defense. Brock Purdy is playing, pretty good. Not having Christian McCaffrey, though, that is like when you don't have the 2023 NFL Offensive Player of the Year on the field, that's hard. That's really hard to beat these teams because Christian McCaffrey brings such a different dynamic such a different dynamic to the team, such a different dynamic to the 49ers offense and what they're able to do. And so I'm not going to say that it's going to be an easy game for the Chiefs, but I can see the Chiefs. I can see the Chiefs either winning this game or losing this game. And I know you just said to yourself, Sarge, Captain Obvious. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. I'm just on the fence. Like I'm really in the middle when it comes to this because I don't know who I want to take in that game. Let me just put a question mark by that because I don't know who I want to take. And I know you all didn't ask me to predict it, but I can see the Chiefs losing this game, and if the Chiefs lose this game, they're definitely going to drop out of, uh, uh, that first sergeant category, which is number 2 in the rankings for me. All right, number 3, sergeant first class. I got the Houston Texans at 5-1. They had an impressive win over the New England Patriots, and I know that there's a lot of people that are still saying that they could have done more. I know there's a lot of people that wish that the Houston Texans could have played a cleaner game. And even though they won 41-21, you've seen some improvement. You've seen some improvement. And there's still some things. Yes, you're right. There's still some things that needs to be cleaned up. Some of that pass coverage needs to be cleaned up. Some of that offensive line work needs to be cleaned up. But 41-21, scoring 27 points in the second half, something that they really needed, something that they hadn't scored like that since week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. And so I like the win over the Pats. They got a big test this week against the Green Bay Packers. And side note, I was doing some research. I was doing some research last night, and look at so I know the Houston Texans are what, 2.5 point 2.5 point underdogs coming into this game. I know that the Packers are favored by 2.5 points. And I'm saying to myself, I'm saying, well, what are we looking at this at? Are we saying they get that 2.5 because Nico Collins is not healthy? Because if Nico Collins was healthy, I'm pretty sure that the Texans would be the favorite. But just looking at that Packers team, like why are they 2.5? Why are they're a 2.5 favorite over the Houston Texans? What is what are these odds makers seeing that's saying that? Is it because they're playing in Lambeau as well? So no Nico and playing in Lambeau, that automatically gives them the that point differential, because the Green Bay Packers is one of the really, one of the better teams in the NFC, one of the better teams in the NFL. They also are in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. The NFC North is tough. The NFC North is tough. And I'm talking about, you got the Green Bay Packers, you got the Detroit Lions, you got the Chicago Bears, you have the Minnesota Vikings. And if I'm not mistaken, all of those teams have four wins or better. And so looking at that division, the Green Bay Packers are still right there in the mix to win that division and still get, a high seed when it comes to the NFC playoffs. And so I get that part. But on the flip side, when you're looking at the Houston Texans, this is also a team. Their division may not be as good as the NFC North, but this is a team that has been playing well, but hasn't been playing up to their potential just yet. And maybe this could be the game. Maybe this could be the breakout game. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Green Bay Packers. I know that they are a very good team, and I cover the Houston Texans, and I know that they're a good team. They just, you know, they still haven't played their best football just yet. And then maybe they could be underdogs because of some of the injuries that that they don't know anything about just yet. We don't know the status of Azeez Al-Shaair. We'll find that out on Wednesday. We don't know the status of Henry To'oTo'o and him being in concussion protocol. We're going to talk about a little bit later on in this show. They lost another defensive lineman. They lost another defensive lineman in Mario Edwards Jr., but they're getting Danico Autry back. We don't know this week if Christian Harris will be back. We don't know if Kamari Lassiter will be back. So maybe they're the Packers are a 2.5 point favorite over the the Houston Texans because of all the uncertainty. But I think when whatever team they roll in there with, I mean, just like the Packers believe that they can win any game with Jordan Love, the Houston Texans believe that they can win any game as long as they got CJ Stroud on the field. And I'm not really sold. And then we're going to get into this later on this week. I'm just going to say this. I'm not really sold on the Packers defense. I'm just not. Like last week against the Arizona Cardinals, they didn't have any sacks. No sacks and had 8 quarterback pressures. I said this on the Locked On Texans podcast with John Hickman, available wherever you get your podcast from. That if you're not going to get any pressure on CJ Stroud, CJ probably could throw for 450 yards if you're not going to put any pressure on him. If you're not going to put any pressure on him, if you can't get to him, he's going to dissect that defense. And if you have a defensive front four who can't get to the quarterback, and if that offensive line plays the way that they're supposed to play, and if they can run the ball with Joe Mixon, like I said, later on this week we'll get off into that a little bit more, but I don't know. So the Command Sergeant Major, number 1, you got the Minnesota Vikings. First Sergeant, number 2, you got the Chiefs. Sergeant First Class, number 3, you got the Houston Texans. Staff Sergeant, number 4, had the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens beat the Washington Commanders. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and they have a tough game coming up this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's going to be a good game. We watched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, look. If I said it once last week, I said it 15 other times. Hey, man, the New Orleans Saints tricked the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. You know, I don't get easily tricked off my square. But the New Orleans Saints, y'all tricked me. Y'all tricked me. Y'all, with all that talent y'all got on that team, y'all barely better than the Raiders. Y'all barely better than the Jets. All that talent y'all got, and y'all still be putting up these type of performances. And I know, hey, Carr was out. You had Spencer Rattler. The Texans play the Packers this week. I seen Jordan Love go down, and I seen Malik Willis step right up. I'm just saying. I digress. At number 4, Staff Sergeant, I got the Baltimore Ravens. They beat the Commanders. Like I said, they got a tough game against Tampa Bay. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and they look really good. Just like I said on last week, they finally figured out how to they finally figured out how to make that offense work with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And hey, look, I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. If we keeping it a buck right now, we keeping it 100, right? Right here on Sports Talk with Big Sarge. If they keep playing the way that they playing, if the Ravens keep playing the way that they playing, Lamar Jackson gonna be MVP again. Hey, argue with your stepdaddy, not me. Go, hey, argue with your stepdaddy. You argue with him about other things anyway. You tell him on consistent basis he ain't your daddy, so go argue with him. Don't argue with me. Lamar Jackson, if they continue to play the way, and I'm not talking about they have to go on a multiple game winning streak like they're on right now, but if he keeps playing consistently like he is, Lamar Jackson is going to be MVP again. Just hands down. I don't know what else to tell y'all. All right, coming in at number 5, Sergeant, I got the Washington Commanders, right? They're 4-2. They lost to the Ravens. They got the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers up next, so they should improve to 5-2. They are the best team in the NFC East. They're better than the Philadelphia Eagles. They're better than the New York Giants, and they damn sure better than the Dallas Cowboys. And so the Washington Commanders, they played a very good game against the team. And I told you all last week that it could flip-flop. It could flip-flop between the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens based on whoever won that game. And that last week I had the Ravens over the Commanders. And even though the Commanders lost, they still played very good. I am impressed by Jaden Daniels. I am impressed by Jaden Daniels. And I'm not going to say any names. DJ Bieniemy, ESPN reporter for the Houston Texans. I'm not going to say no name. DJ Bieniemy, beat writer for the Houston Texans for ESPN. Like, I'm going to keep this one to myself. I'm not going to even say who I told. DJ Bieniemy from ESPN right here in Houston, Texas. That the Washington Commanders are a better team. I said this at the beginning of the season. Washington Commanders is going to be a better team than the Dallas Cowboys. And Jaden Daniels, even as a rookie, is going to outshine Dak Prescott. And he told me I was wrong until he had to tell me that I was right. I'm talking about that guy. I didn't tell y'all his name, DJB. Number 5, I got the Washington Commanders. Now, some of y'all are wondering why I didn't put, and I got at Corporal, I have the Detroit Lions. They got a tough game against the Minnesota Vikings coming up here next week too. Some of y'all are wondering why didn't you put the Lions over the Commanders? The Commanders lost. The Lions won. I can't put the Lions over the Commanders because one, the level of competition that they played against, they did what they were supposed to do. They blew out the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys do not have a good team. They did what they were supposed to do and blew out the Dallas Cowboys. That's one. Two, the way you did it, though. Like, I get it. Last year, you felt like you got cheated. Last year, the Lions felt like they got cheated against the Dallas Cowboys as far as that eligible receiver thing is concerned. I got it. But you went in and you tried to be petty. You tried to be petty, and then that's when you wanted, like I said earlier, you want to throw it to everybody. You want to throw it to the bus driver that brought you there. You want to throw it to your Uber driver that you had brought in. Say, hey, maybe we'll be able to get you some plays in this week. Like, you wanted to throw the ball and score on Dallas as much as you can in an embarrassing fashion. And I just can't respect that. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those ones that say when you get a big lead that you should take your foot off the gas. Hell no. No. If you can use your skill players and put 60 points up on the Dallas Cowboys, then you put 60 points up on the Dallas Cowboys. If you can score 70, put as many points as you can using your skill players. Because it is not it's not the Detroit Lions' job and obligation to make the Dallas Cowboys better or help them to stop them. No, hell no. They on the field too. They get a check just like you do. Hey, run that score up with your skill players. But when you start trying to do it with these linemen, when you try to do it with, hold on, side note, y'all. Hey, is that Eve? EYV? I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't want to butcher it, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't understand. You're gonna have to tell me, just sound it out for me in the comments. Cowgirls trash. Did you miss my whole diatribe about Cowboy fans don't care about y'all calling us cowgirls? That's like an antiquated, old insult. You need some new ones? Because I can give you some new ones. Like, I can give you some new ones that'll piss some Dallas Cowboy fans off. Cowgirls are never gonna get it. It goes in one ear and not the other. And it really be coming from these fans who teams ain't never won nothing. Side note. Hold on. Oh, Yvonne. Cry girl. Wait, what is this? Oh my God. Hey, what is that shirt you got on? What's your shirt say? Senor Buble. Like Michael Bublé? I'm confused. Yvonne, right? As you said, her name is right, AD. Yvonne. Hey, this one don't, as a Cowboys fan since 1975, this don't bother me none. And unless you're a fan of, unless the San Francisco 49ers on your team, okay, so you got to, there's a couple of, when you start saying cowgirls, your team either has to be the San Francisco 49ers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, or even the Kansas City Chiefs. They are a dynasty. If none of them is none of your teams, and none of them four is your team, what are we really doing here, Yvonne? Like for real. What are we doing here? Oh, I get it now. AD, you got AD. So since I told you you can't come in and take over my trap, you sending in ops. Oh no, Yvonne. Miss Yvonne. I'm not gonna disrespect you. Miss Yvonne. Hey, where you watch your last Cowboys? I mean, Sarge has to watch the last Cowboys Super Bowl on a VHS tape. That's cool. Hey, tell me where you watched your last your team's last Super Bowl appearance. No, I got time. I already missed going to Rockets practice. They gonna cuss me out. I'm cool with that. I'll make up for it. Hey, tell me when the last time you watched yours. He didn't send me. You know what? I'd say that too if he gave me the Cash App or the Venmo. I'm gonna watch the Texans live in February. So I ain't no mathematician or nothing like that. I just play one on TV. The only thing that I told my math teachers, I'm like, I'm not gonna use algebra, geometry, or none of that stuff unless it has to deal with counting money. If it ain't got nothing to do with counting money, I'm good with that. So, but if you go like 20, so like if you so if you take 2024 and then you subtract 2002 from 2024, carry the one, use the Pythagorean theorem, you use the diameter and the triangular course of octagon. Make sure you come back a squared plus b squared equals, and then I carry the 3 and then use these 2 fingers to make sure. Hey, that's like AD. That's 20, 22 years, right? Like come on, 20 plus years. Been in the league. Gotta win one day, or at least make it to one. I ain't come here for that, and I'm not finna let you and Miss Yvonne trick me off my square because y'all came in here and tried to bombard the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show with the H Town Rundown, a show that I'm a fan of. But I mean, it's getting. Hold on, this is amazing. It's loading. How long is the take? Hell, in 2002, I was listening to gray tapes. Like there was cassettes, and then there was like the little mini disc. Then I used to have one. Hey, look, like we were still using the portable radios in 2002, right? Like the little portable ones, or had we already started using the face off ones? Because I remember you used to be able to pull out your radio, and people used to walk around with it in the mall, like they was like all that, because they had their portable radio in their hand. You remember that? Or like you could like push the little button and the face come off, detachable face, and you stick that in your back pocket. This is before you start, I in 2002, I think I still had a beeper. I think they had like flip phones. Was hell in 2002 was when Lil Flip said I got a prime code phone with 4,000 minutes. Let me get back to what I was doing. I can't make the Detroit line. I can't put the Detroit Lions over the Washington Commanders because um they didn't go about winning the right way. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you don't do it the right way, when you're trying to embarrass and be petty like that by keep trying to throw the ball, like one time would have been cute. One time throwing it to a lineman would have been cute, but repeatedly trying to do that, keep going. Nah, I just can't give you that. So Big Sarge chain of command rankings: number 1, Vikings; number 2, Chiefs; number 3, Texans; number 4, Ravens; number 5, Commanders. And bringing up the rear and honorable mention the Detroit Lions. All right, quick hitters, right quick. On Monday, it was announced that Houston Texans defensive lineman Mario Edwards will be suspended for 4 days for abusing the NFL for violating the NFL substance abuse policy. I don't know what it is. When I get down to NRG tomorrow, head coach D'Amico Ryans is going to talk about it, and so they're going to be without Mario Edwards, who has been playing lights out football in the place of Danico Autry, who was suspended at the beginning of the year, 6 games for violating the NFL substance abuse policy. And we're gonna have a conversation about that later on this week. I mean, that's two players in the same year. Something's got to give. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna have to find out. But two suspensions in the year, and it's like one is coming off suspension and Danico Autry, and the other one is going on suspension. Something ain't right here, especially when you didn't really have, you know. I think the last time this happened, hey AD, tell me if I'm wrong or not. The last time the Texans had two players suspended for substance abuse was Will Fuller and Bradley Roby, right? Because after the game that Will Fuller had against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day, they tested him. And after they tested him, they suspended him for the rest of the year because he abused because he had violated the NFL substance abuse policy. And if I'm not mistaken, it was him, and it was what you call it? It was him and Bradley Roby, defensive back, that were suspended at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And so you got two like this. And so John and I on the Locked On Texans podcast on today's episode, we talked about who could fill in, and we talked about how the defensive line. The one thing about the defensive line is that they have a lot of depth there. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of players that could fill in until they can get Mario Edwards back, just like they filled in for Danico Autry in the absence of Danico Autry. And so I think that when you have players like Tim Settle Jr., when you have Foley Fatukasi, and you're getting Danico Autry back, and like I said on the podcast, Khalil Davis has just been consistent and steady and been playing very well this season. And so I don't think that them losing Mario, the bigger headline is, how did the Texans lose another player for violating the NFL substance abuse policy? That's the bigger story. The story isn't who's going to fill in for Mario Edwards and the way that he's been playing, because you're getting Danico Autry back. And you give him a game or two to get himself back up to speed. And even if you're not going to give him, you don't have to give him a lot of snaps, even though his body's probably going to be, not going to be, but his body is the freshest. And you can give him maybe some more snaps against the Packers. But you could, there's a decent amount of snaps and a decent play from Khalil Davis and Settle and Fatukasi. Those players I feel like can step right in and hold it down to Danico gets get the game speed, game conditioning back up under his feet, and hold it down until Mario Edwards come back. And so the Texans I feel like they're fine. They're fine when it comes to Mario Edwards missing. And so gotcha. This is a good question. Calling back to what we're talking about is yes. Yes, I do think that Stefanski will be out in Cleveland because they can't get rid of Deshaun Watson. Which, side note, what a fall from grace. Lord Jesus. This young man has so much potential. And I'm talking about former Houston Texans quarterback, now Cleveland Browns quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Oh my God, this young man has so much potential. And to see him, like, I don't even know what's another word for bad. Like, how do you say bad in other languages? How do you say terrible in other languages? I don't want to sit here and degrade him and insult him, but his play, like Deshaun Watson's play, it's like you can't sit him because you paid him too much money. So you start getting rid of the things around him and blame it on him. Blame it, cool. Blame it on Stefanski. Get him up out of there. Blame it on some other things. But at the end of the day, like when I can sit here and say that Deshaun Watson is one of the worst quarterbacks in Cleveland Browns history, and they had Johnny Manziel. They had Johnny Manziel. And Deshaun Watson is worse than Johnny Manziel. The way that Deshaun Watson is playing, and like I said, you don't want to see that happen to somebody who's so talented. I'm not talking about his off the field issues, none of that. You look at him and haven't interacted with him. having interacted with him and talked to him and being around his family, it isn't something that you wish to happen on anyone, right? And like I said, I'm not talking about the off the field issues. I'm talking about watching him play. Like it is like I think I'd rather I think I don't even know what I'd rather do. I'm trying to think of something. I'd probably rather count carpet, count grass. I don't know. I'd rather watch glue dry in my hand like we used to do in the old days. Just put glue in your hand, let it dry, and then peel it off. I rather, you know what? I'd probably rather color. I'd probably rather color than to watch Deshaun Watson. I put it like this. I watch all the Cowboys games, right? I watch all the Cowboys games. And if they had to play the Cleveland Browns again, I probably would have to record that and then mentally prepare myself to watch that game. I couldn't watch it live. It's just it's just terrible. Like whatever happened to Deshaun Watson, man. And if we keeping it a buck, if we keeping it 100 right here on Sports Talk with Big Sarge, I don't think he comes back from this. Father Time is the one person that can't be beat. And there you could take Deshaun Watson off of Cleveland and you could put him on whatever team you want to put him on. You could put him on a team that you think has the best offensive weapons. And he still is not going to look good. He lost it. It's done. It's over. Take your money, go shopping, become a fashionista. You and Jilly, y'all go and sell the 7 C's or do whatever it is you're doing. Take your money because where you were headed, the NFL Hall of Fame, where you were headed to the NFL Hall of Fame, that's just the only way you're gonna get there now is on your Madden team. Like you gotta play in franchise mode, and you gotta find some way to put yourself on all 99s. I digress. All right, the Rockets are in the Rockets are in action tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time at the Toyota Center. We got a glimpse to see, how they look against OKC. They're playing another one of their divisional foes in the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't know who's all going to be healthy. I'm sorry, who's all going to be playing tonight. I'll find that out when I go down to the pregame press conference with head coach Ime Udoka today. And then I'll tweet that out. Make sure you're following me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Star Sports with a Z at the end for all your Rockets updates. Now that the Rockets are back in season, I cover the Rockets as well. So I give you just as many updates and just as much insight for the Houston Rockets as I do for the Houston Texans. So make sure you make sure you're following me on that so you can get. And I know that it's preseason, but we're just going to, this is the Houston Rockets. They don't have a bad team. They have a young team, but they don't have a bad team. Hey, Sarah, can you elaborate on that? I don't know what that means. No one's talking about that in the media. Talking about what? I'm confused. But it's crazy how he got a Super Bowl ring tat on his back. Oh, who got a Super Bowl ring on their back? I know you did not. No. Um, Deshaun Watson got a Super Bowl ring tatted on his back. He does not have a Super Bowl ring tat. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, I appreciate y'all being here because I still got one more thing that I need to do before I get up out of here. Super Bowl ring on Watson's back. Deshaun Watson got a blank Super Bowl ring tatted on his back to feel it. What the hell you doing, Deshaun? I had no clue about that. I did not know that he had I had no clue that he had a Super Bowl ring tatted on his back. What are you gonna put on that Madden champion? Like the only time he gonna win Super Bowl is with Madden, or if he becomes a backup on a really good team, and what I mean by backup, I mean backed up tablet status, hat status. They let you wear your earring to the game because they don't never ever plan on letting you play. Deshaun Watson has a Super Bowl ring tatted on his back, empty, so he can fill it in when he win a Super Bowl. And what? Pop Warner as the coach. Like you can coach a little league team to the Super Bowl. If y'all win, I guess y'all give y'all medals and trophies, and I guess you can put a ring right there. If you talking about an NFL Super Bowl, never in life. Not playing. And what I mean by playing, like not being a vital part to any team winning the Super Bowl, unless you're the team that you're with that is a backup quarterback, and they bring you onto the field at the end of the game because the starter got hurt. Well, the starter and the backup, because you probably be the backup to the backup. Like there's nothing that Deshaun Watson does present day that makes me look and say that, oh, that's only thing that this team is missing is Deshaun Watson. Nothing. There's nothing that I've seen since Deshaun Watson has been in Cleveland that tells me or lets me know that he's going to be a part of any Super Bowl team, any team that has aspirations of being of going to the Super Bowl, and he's going to be a part of it, as far as the starting quarterback. I just gave y'all this list, right? We just went down our top 5 teams. We just went down our top 5 teams in the in the NFL right now. And if you look, some of these teams, at least 3 of these teams, 3 or 4 of these teams on here could make it to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go down the list one more time. Y'all drop this in the comment, right? Y'all drop this in the comments. No, hold on. Nah, now you just trying to get under my skin, and I'm not even a Dak Prescott fan like that. I will be the first one to come in here and talk bad about Rain Dakota Prescott. As a matter of fact, one of my good friends from the gym is a Lions fan, and him and I just had this conversation about Dak. Like I'm not a Dak apologist. I'm not Dez Bryant. I'm not a Dak apologist. Y'all can tag me in that clip and send it to him. I'm cool with that. I'm not a Dak apologist. So nah. And Dak is not worse than Deshaun Watson. So y'all drop this in the comments and y'all tell me, right? I'm gonna give you the rankings of the top teams right now. You tell me if Deshaun Watson could start on any of these teams. The Minnesota Vikings, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Commanders, the Detroit Lions. Hell, as bad as I talked about Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, I would take him over Deshaun Watson right now. Yeah. I would take whatever quarterback is in Carolina that's starting for the Panthers right now over him. I would take whatever quarterback is starting for, let me see. Nope. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, I don't know if Gardner Minshew is getting a start this week or if Aiden O'Connell will be back. I wouldn't take Deshaun Watson over either one of them. Hold on. What did you say? AD? Maybe no. Kevin O'Connell couldn't even fix him. No. I don't even know. I don't even know if I was a head coach at Blinn and they told me that I had an opportunity to start Deshaun Watson as my starting quarterback at Blinn Junior College, I'd be like, I'm good. We got this walk on that he really plays hard. He really tries hard. He doesn't have the best arm. His arm isn't strong and powerful, but he's very accurate. So nah, I'm gonna pass. Super Bowl ring on his back. Man, let me get up out of here, y'all. I got one more thing that I gotta do. Once again, tuned to this What's Talking Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Thank you all for being here with me. Before I get up out of here, right? Before I get up out of here. So I don't know if y'all seen this thing that happened in the NBA preseason game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks. Now, for those of y'all who don't follow the NBA, let me bring you up to speed. So, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo used to play for the New York Knicks. They got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns. And if you know anything about Dontae, and if you know anything about Julius Randle, they were New York to the heart. And like their head coach, Tom Thibodeau, like would rave about their work ethic and the way that they played. Now I know Julius Randle missed a lot of last season due to an injury, so he didn't get a chance to help them go on the run that they did last year. But Dante DiVincenzo was a huge part of that. And so when they got traded, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Julius Randle was like, I found out on SportsCenter, which side note, hey, look, let me tell you, franchise is something. You know how bad it looks when these players have to find out that they were traded to another team, either through social media or on like some sports show, some sports network, excuse me, like on ESPN or Fox or something. They got to find out that way that they've been traded. You didn't even have the common courtesy to call the agent and let the agent know so he can call his client. I mean, we were talking about Deshaun Watson earlier. Hey, when Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins, you know how Deshaun found out? Through social media. Bill O'Brien didn't even call him and let him know, hey, man, I'm shipping away your best weapon. So, I digress. So, the Knicks shipped off DiVincenzo and Randall to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns. Now, they played in a preseason game. And former New York Knicks player Dontae DiVincenzo had words with Knicks assistant coach Rick Brunson, who is also the father of the star of the team, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, guard who used to play with the Dallas Mavericks and now play with the New York Knicks. Very, very, very good player. Very good player. I think, and some of y'all underestimate his size. He looks small on television, on the court, but he's not a small player. So Rick Brunson, who's an assistant for the New York Knicks, who's the father of Jalen Brunson, him and Dante DiVincenzo had words. And at the end of the game, Rick Brunson kept telling him that suckish, that suckish, that suckish. Now, and I'm not gonna curse, but you know what he said. So Rick, how long you been around White Dante? Like you were around him last year, right? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he go to Villanova? Ain't that where Jalen Brunson went to Villanova too, right? Didn't he win 2 championships? Didn't Dante DiVincenzo win 2 championships, NCAA championships with Villanova? Wasn't he like the most outstanding player on that 2018 team, if I'm not mistaken? Like you've been around Dante. Like you've been around him. He's not your average Anglo-American. You ever heard White Dante talk? Like Dante is different, right? And Dante is from Delaware. Now, people hear Delaware, they be like, oh, sure, Sarge, the first state. Ha ha ha. Ain't nobody scared of nobody from Delaware. All right, let me tell y'all something. Story time, real quick. So I used to date a young lady that lived in Delaware, right? So I've been to Delaware about 2 or 3 times. And I remember the first time I went to Delaware, she said, hey, I got to go to work. Can you take my nephew to get a haircut? And I'm saying to myself, to where? Like, we're in Delaware. You want me to take him to Supercuts? Like, dude, they got a black barber at Supercuts? Like, who gonna cut his? What you mean take him to the barbershop? She said, take him to the barbershop. Look, here's the address. But he know how, look, here's the address, but he knows how to get there. And when you walk in, they already know he get his hair cut here every 2 weeks. They're gonna know who he is. Just take him in there and let him get his hair cut and then bring him back to the house. Cool. No problem. Me and little man get in the car. We drive and we talking. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking to myself, man, it must be weird. Like, who cut your hair though? Because we in Delaware. And I like I mean, if I was in like if we were somewhere else, I'd be like, okay, I get it. But we're in Delaware. Delaware. Shh. Pull up, get to the barbershop. We get out. I walk in and I swear for goodness. I walked in all black barbershop. And when I say all black, I ain't just talking about skin color. And you had people in there that had bootleg DVDs, bootleg CDs. Hell, I probably could have got a new social security number up out of there. They had everything that you need. Conversation was flowing. I felt like I was back in Houston. Listen, I love that barbershop so much. I got my hair cut and I came back. My barber said, "Hey, who been in your head?" I said, "Hey, man, look, you don't understand. I got caught up in the moment." Because in Delaware, you have people from Philly, you have people from Baltimore, you have people from New York. Like they go to Delaware to hide out. It's like how, like when your cousin who used to live in Chicago would come and stay with you for like 2 years, and you'd be like, dang, you're like, hey man, I had to come down south because I got some issues going in Chicago. Like when your cousins come from the East Coast and they move to get away from like child support or whatever violent crime that they're running from, and they move down south. Yeah, that's what they do in Delaware. So they'll come from Philly, they'll come from like Philly, New York, Baltimore, and they migrate over to Delaware. And so I'm sitting there like, wow. So when I tell you that Dontae DiVincenzo is from Delaware, don't be like, oh, they ain't gangster there, they ain't tough. Oh yeah. And if you've heard Dontae talk, if you heard him talk, you already know he about that life. Like he really about that life. Don't get it twisted. And he like 6'4", like 6'4", and he stays aggravated. Seems like just look at White. Like White Dontae ain't Travis Kelce. He not role playing. He y'all, some of y'all will get that. So Dontae DiVincenzo is not role playing like Travis Kelce was. No, that haircut he got, that's real. You're not gonna see one of those corny mustaches on him. You pull up to him, he probably, hey, look, ain't no telling what you gonna hear, but it's gonna be something that's gonna be trapped. Probably you probably listen to Boss Man D-Lo, Big X the Plug, Big 30, ESTG, T Grizzly, some old school King Von, rest in peace. Some God dang it, I just had them some Griselda. Like he not playing those type of games. Like you pull up on him, then you better really pull up on him. So for you to start, and I get it, that's that New York in you. I know that's that East Coast, and that's that New York in you, Rick. I got you. I know you like, hey, look, I'm not finna, he not finna punk me. He not finna do this to me. But you also got to remember, he one of them ones. He's not your average Anglo-American. And that is no shot at any Anglo-American, because I don't know all Anglo-Americans. All I'm saying is, if you looked at Dontae and forgot everything that you knew about him from the years he was with New York, you forgot all of that. Because I think he was also with Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. But if you forgot all of that about him, when he started talking again, that should have brought to remembrance that, hey, this guy not scared. He not scared of you. It took your son to hold him back. And did you notice how your son was holding him back? Your son was holding him back. Notice how your son did it? With caution. Very carefully. Very, very carefully. Very. Because he knows at any point in time, white Dontae gonna switch into light-skinned Dontae and go to work. Like he about that life. He wants smoke. He wants smoke. He don't run from it. Hell, sometimes I feel like he'll go over there and flame it. Like we always say, you know how Lil Wayne, he about to come on because he get the flick of the lighter. He'll go over there and start his own. No possible way you could have ever thought, Rick Brunson, that Dontae was going to back down from you. And he said he wasn't even talking to you, but you decided to jump in. So he's like, hey, you can get this work too. I was talking to Tibbs, but you can get this work too. I'm not afraid of you, my guy. And you looking at him, he's like, hey, he's not scared. He constantly talked the entire time afterwards. He not scared. You got the wrong one, Rick Brunson. The wrong one. Hold on. Aaron Hernandez came from Connecticut. Who would ever thought that he would have been what he was? Everybody has a hood in that state or city. Hey, look. And not only that, Aaron Hernandez wasn't the only gangster one from Connecticut. Hey, Connecticut. Hey, man. Hey. Y'all be getting some of these places mixed up. So some of these places y'all better learn about. And Rick Brunson, he was not afraid of you at all. I can't wait till they play again in the regular season game. I think that's going to be interesting. Also, before I go, you know what makes it worse for New York? Is that Dontae's teammate don't give a damn either. Y'all know who his teammate is, right? It's Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards don't care. Anthony Edwards straight up Georgia. He'll let you know he's straight up Georgia. He ain't changing for nobody. And Anthony Edwards is he one of them. He one of them ones. He is one of those. Like he's one of those. On the court and off the court. He don't change. He don't give you that work on the court. And if you want that work off the court, he'll give you that work off the court too. He does not change. And so what do you think happened after that game? He probably said, hey, man, I got me a real one now. Yeah, Cat, you cool, but you kind of, I don't know about you, brother. I don't know. You know, you watch Rudy Gobert get choked out, and then you went over there. Stop it, guys. Stop playing. I said stop playing. Let Rudy go. Draymond, let Rudy go. Draymond, for real. Let him go, though. For real. Like, let him go. Nah. Anthony Edwards is looking like, oh, a real one. Oh, shit. Oh, we about to do some work. We about to really do some work, bro. Hey, bro, a real one right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Let him keep talking. I got his back, too. I got his back. So any of y'all on the bench that won't smoke, you know what? Probably won't be Josh Hart and Dontae that get into it, but it'd probably be Anthony Edwards and Josh Hart. Because Josh Hart not going to go with Dontae because of that whole connection that they have. But he'll start talking to Anthony Edwards, and that could be the wrong move for you, my guy. Because Anthony Edwards could put 60 up in the guard at any point in time. You've been tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do it for the gram. And make sure you're subscribed to the Locked On Texans podcast, available wherever you get your podcast from. John and I try to give you the best Texans talk daily. I got to get up out of here. Get a Super Bowl ring on his back. Yeah, no, but I lost his mind. A Super Bowl ring on his back. So if in the land of never gonna come true, if Deshaun Watson got a Super Bowl ring tatted on his back, and I bet you that his significant other got a wedding ring on hers. Yeah, I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work.